Every day I'm hearing about new scams. It's hard to believe, but some of these scams are actually quite clever. I've spoken about spyware scams before, where they send you an email that pretends that they know your password. If they show you your password, it's going to be fairly convincing. If you haven't seen this video, I'll link to it here. But people wouldn't give away their information without being asked for it. Would they? 10 years ago, I was working on a price comparison website, the sort that finds the best product for your needs. As I was a server person, I was put in charge of hosting, as well as other things. What I found was shocking. People would email us to cancel this product or this service, and here's their personal information to verify who they are, like names, address, and credit card details. Well, what's the problem with this? Well, we didn't take the payment. We weren't the merchant. We weren't the supplier. We just told people where the product was and service to buy. So why were they giving us their information? That was 10 years ago. They wouldn't still be doing that, would they? On the price comparison website, no. However, it gets much worse than that. Much worse. My old boss approached me to write an app. The idea was simple. We wanted to help people remember any items they'd lent to anyone. But what does this have to do with customer data, I hear you asking? Well, have you ever heard of example.com or example.org? These are domain names set up specifically to be used in documentation. No one can buy example.com and set up a website there. The same goes for email. If you sent an email to hello@example.com, it would bounce. What if there was a domain name similar to example.com, but did work, and you could buy it? What would happen then? Going back to my app, we decided to call it Forgot. And it so happened that my old boss had the domain name forgot.com. When I set up forgot.com, I also set up an email to allow people to get in touch. This is where I started to get all sorts of unexpected emails. People have been using forgot@forgot.com, name@forgot.com, and no email at forgot.com. If it's to avoid getting spam, then I completely understand. You don't want to get the email and you don't care where it goes. However, whoever wanted this holiday reservation information went to great lengths to try and retrieve it. They used the number 1@forgot.com all the way to 305. Clearly they wanted this information. If you want information from a website and it's forcing you to create an account, then I highly recommend using an email that you can access, or using an email redirect service. Then there's this case, I'm getting the same email from a car dealership for lots of different names. Is that a case of lots of customers doing the same thing, or one employee maybe doing the same thing? It's hard to tell, but if it's an employee, then that's worrying. If that's all there was, then there wouldn't be much of a story. I've been getting emails from services that people have signed up to, like this poor user from Hallmark that keeps requesting their password every so often. I don't know if there's any phone support they can phone up, but it appears that the only way they can get their password reset is through email. But because they don't own the email address, they'll never get a response. There's nothing I can do because I could log into their account, but I'm a good person and I'm not going to do that. I've got chat logs from where people have given an email address that they don't own, and it's emailed me the contents of their message. Some of it contains personal information, mostly just a name and phone number. Sometimes account numbers. They're never going to get a copy of it. Some people use web support where they will contact the company via email, a ticket system, and use an email address at forgot.com. Well, how are they ever going to get a reply? It boggles the mind. This isn't as bad as what I then discovered. Because up until this point, I hadn't actually had access to any credit card information. And technically I don't, but somebody added their credit card to a Home Depot account. So technically I can log into their account. If I don't know the password, well, I've got the email address. I can forget the password and get in that way. Is that the worst that's happened? No. I can actually one-up you one more, because actually people have used forgot.com as a recovery email address to their Apple accounts, their Google accounts, their Facebook accounts. I'm like, you can literally store your lives in these accounts. If it's asking you for a backup email address, you need to use one that you own, or skip it. Just don't put in some random one that somebody else could take over your account with. The more worrying part about this is there's potentially employees out there that don't get the email address, and maybe they were entering no email or didn't ask, or customer refused at forgot.com. So if they ever do create an account, then it's going to start sending me data again. And this is not ideal. In a privacy-centric world, we should be guarding our data a lot more carefully than this. And if you are that one hallmark user, then feel free to reach out to me if you can tell me something about your account, or potentially give me permission to go in to verify you, and then we can sort this mess out. I'll see you next time. Till the next video. Goodbye.